Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, life is still filled with challenges and difficulties? Is it possible that fate has predetermined everything? No, that's not actually the case. We, with our extraordinary abilities, always have the freedom to choose, the choice of attitude, the choice of how to face challenges. We often blame circumstances, fate, or others for things not going our way. Sometimes I too think I'm unlucky, but then I realize that while no one can fully control events, each of us has the right to choose how to respond to them. There are those who always find excuses for their failures or negative moods. No money, no time, or too tired. But in reality, they simply don't know how to use their power of choice. They're merely existing, not truly living. Today, we'll unlock 10 profound lessons from Stoic philosophy to realize that we're not just victims of circumstances, but creators of our own lives. Let's explore how to not just live, but live a meaningful life through our daily decisions. And don't forget to watch the video until the end, and don't overlook any lessons, because each lesson is a key to unlocking your hidden potential. Leave a comment below the video and commit. I choose to challenge myself, to demonstrate your determination on this journey. Lesson number 1: Truth and Deception. In the context of modern society, filled with conflicts and pitfalls, is truth still a guiding principle for our lives? When everything seems immersed in the maze of deceit and misunderstanding, Stoic philosophy steadfastly values truth and teaches us that, above all, it is the catalyst for inner freedom and tranquility. One of the most prominent examples of this comes from the life of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He wrote in Meditations, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance." Through this statement, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes that it is only when we choose to persist in error that we truly harm ourselves. Therefore, adhering to truth is a method of self-protection, helping to keep the mind unclouded by illusions and deceit. In daily life, discerning truth from falsehood requires alertness and reason. Stoicism encourages us to practice observation, self-examination, and self-control, so as not to be misled by glittering promises or baseless words. Instead, we take the time to reflect and evaluate all information before making decisions based on reason and experience. Equally important is educating oneself about the warning signs of deception and developing the ability to assess others fairly and accurately. This requires a patient and impartial mindset, especially when dealing with information that may influence personal decisions or judgments about others. So, have you ever felt swept away by life's currents and forgotten the value of truth? Share a time when you faced and overcame challenges through your own sincerity. Together, we will not only find peace, but also discover the tremendous power that truth brings. Lesson number 2. Prioritize mutual respect in relationships. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." His words illustrate that we can only become good friends, colleagues, or partners when we not only respect ourselves, but also respect others. Mutual respect in every relationship is not just about avoiding harming others spiritually or materially, but also about listening to, understanding, and valuing their perspectives. Stoic philosophy emphasizes a fundamental principle for all relationships: mutual respect. This is not a choice, but a necessary requirement to nurture and protect human connections. It goes beyond enduring pain and emotions. It's about building a solid foundation for healthy relationships through understanding and practicing mutual respect. An illustrative example of this is the relationship between a teacher and their students. When a teacher applies respect, listens, and understands the issues and difficulties of their students, the students respond with respect and strive to learn. This relationship not only creates a more effective learning environment, but also helps students develop better social interaction skills and emotional intelligence. Through this, both the teacher and the students learn how to respect themselves and others, a crucial lesson in life. Ultimately, mutual respect not only helps minimize conflicts, but also promotes understanding and integration among individuals. In an increasingly complex and diverse society, applying Stoic principles is an indispensable life skill. We not only enrich ourselves, but also enrich the community and society in which we live. Mutual respect becomes a necessary lesson for life, helping us move closer to harmony and peace. Please share your thoughts on the importance of mutual respect in all relationships. Have you experienced or witnessed any situations where respect has truly changed how people interact with each other? We would love to hear your stories and perspectives on this issue. Every day is a blank page, an opportunity to write new chapters in our personal development. There are no limits to learning, experiencing, and overcoming ourselves. Let patience and determination guide us on the path of continuous self-improvement. And let's explore deeper into self-improvement, where every step forward is a victory and every challenge is a valuable lesson. Lesson number 3. Continuous self-improvement. Self-improvement goes beyond just enhancing knowledge or skills. It demands continuous change and development in spiritual and ethical aspects, as Epictetus emphasized when he said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." This improvement stems from a clear self-awareness of strengths and weaknesses, thereby setting reasonable and sustainable personal development goals. An essential part of self-improvement is goal setting. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, setting goals not only helps us maintain focus and strive, but also helps us lead a purposeful and meaningful life. This can be achieved through constant self-inquiry. Does this action bring me closer to the person I want to become? And is this the best way to reflect my values? An example of applying Stoic philosophy in life can be seen in the character of Alexander. As a young leader, Alexander used this philosophy as a tool to manage both personal life and career. Every day, he took time to reflect on his actions, evaluating their effectiveness and ethicality. He consistently set small goals to improve his leadership abilities, from learning to control emotions to enhancing patience and introspection. Through this process, Alexander not only became a stronger leader, but also a better person with resilience and perseverance in every situation. This not only led to success in his career, but also brought happiness and meaning to his life. The process of sustainable self-improvement and conscious pursuit of these positive changes is the essence of Stoic philosophy, which is why it becomes an indispensable requirement in everyone's life. Lesson number 4: Self-reliance and confidence. Self-reliance and confidence are among the important qualities that everyone needs to develop to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. Self-reliance not only refers to the ability to sustain and develop oneself, but also to the ability to make decisions and face challenges independently. Confidence is the belief in one's own abilities and self-awareness of one's value in society. To build and maintain self-reliance and confidence, firstly, we need to have a clear understanding of ourselves and our limitations. Through engaging in sincere and realistic self-criticism, we can gain a better understanding of our strengths and weaknesses. From there, we can focus on developing positive aspects and overcoming our limitations. Furthermore, setting goals and establishing specific plans to achieve them is also crucial. By identifying clear and measurable goals, we can enhance our confidence and achieve self-reliance. This helps us not to rely too much on others and to confidently move forward on our own path. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor and Stoic philosopher, is a clear example of self-reliance and confidence. He was not only a powerful leader, but also a profound philosopher with a clear perspective on himself. He often emphasized the role of self-awareness and self-consciousness. He not only encouraged people to value their own worth, but also emphasized that true confidence comes from deep self-understanding. Marcus Aurelius did not concern himself with the criticism of others, but focused on developing his own soul and intellect. Through this, he became an icon of self-reliance and confidence in history. The example of Marcus Aurelius is a clear demonstration that true confidence does not depend on the judgment of others, but comes from self-knowledge and self-acceptance. We would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Have you ever experienced a period when you felt lacking in confidence and self-reliance? How did you overcome and develop your confidence and self-reliance in that situation? Please share your insights in the comments section. Have you ever wondered why some people can calmly face difficulties with courage, while others feel overwhelmed? The strength to overcome fear and pain is not a choice, but a necessary requirement in life. Let's explore how Stoic philosophy teaches us to face these challenges with courage. Lesson number 5. Facing fear and pain with Stoic courage. Fear is a natural, primal emotion in humans. It's similar to other emotions like joy, sadness, excitement, or boredom. Fear is described as a state of tension, hesitation, or trembling when the body senses an imminent or perceived threat, whether tangible or intangible. This leads to a defensive psychological state to protect oneself when faced with these stimuli. In the philosophy of Stoicism, confronting fear and pain isn't just a natural reaction, but also an opportunity to demonstrate courage. Courage, in the Stoic perspective, isn't merely bravado in the face of danger, but the ability to accept and overcome fear purposefully through understanding and mastering one's own emotions. A specific example of this can be seen in the life of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers. In his Meditations, Marcus stated that we shouldn't fear death because it's a part of life that we cannot control. He viewed accepting death not only as a duty, but also as an expression of courage. To illustrate this resilience, consider a marathon runner facing extreme physical pain and exhaustion during the race. Instead of giving up, they use this pain as a signal to better understand their limits and find ways to surpass them. They learn to adjust their pace and breathing and use the pain as motivation to keep moving forward. Through the words of Marcus Aurelius and the example of the marathon runner, we see that in Stoic philosophy, facing fear and pain isn't just a choice, but a requirement to live a full and meaningful life. It encourages us not only to accept life's challenges, but also to actively and resiliently overcome them. We've journeyed halfway together, challenging ourselves with the courage to face fear and pain. Thank you for not shying away from difficulties and accompanying us on this journey. As we move on to the next part of the video, let's maintain the spirit and determination we've had to explore and embrace change together, an essential element in life and Stoic philosophy. Don't forget to challenge yourself by continuing to watch and follow the remaining parts of the video. Like and share this video to spread the power of Stoic philosophy together. Together, we'll not only learn, but also change ourselves and the world around us. Lesson number 6. Embracing change. Change is a permanent feature of life, a truth emphasized by Stoic philosophers throughout history. For adherents of Stoicism, accepting and adapting to change is not just a choice, but a necessary requirement for living a fulfilled and meaningful life. By viewing change as an opportunity, we can harness it to develop ourselves and gain valuable experiences. An illustrative example of this can be seen in the career of Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest philosopher-emperors. During his reign, he faced numerous challenges, from pandemics to military conflicts. Rather than feeling overwhelmed, Marcus Aurelius applied Stoic principles to accept and adapt to these fluctuations, not only helping him maintain tranquility, but also deepening his self-awareness and wisdom. In modern life, we also encounter equally powerful changes. Technology, economy, and society are constantly evolving. For instance, the advent of the internet has changed how we work, learn, and communicate. Those who quickly adapt to new technologies not only retain employment, but also advance further in their careers. Therefore, change is not just an inevitable part of life, but also a valuable resource. When we embrace and harmonize with change, we not only survive, but also thrive. Stoicism teaches that by controlling our reactions to situations, we can find peace and strength in any circumstance. Accepting change, therefore, is not just a choice, but a necessary condition for living a meaningful and fulfilling life in the true spirit of Stoic philosophy. In life, many things happen beyond our control, from unexpected changes to heart-wrenching losses. But what matters is not what we lose, but how we let go. Let us explore the art of letting go, a lesson in finding serenity through accepting the things we cannot change. Lesson number 7, the Stoic art of letting go. Billionaire Warren Buffett once shared, "When it comes to sacrifice, I think of time because it's the only thing nobody can buy. I can buy anything I want, basically, but I can't buy time. Everyone has only 24 hours a day. Therefore, to pursue meaningful things, you need to learn to give up some activities that are less or not beneficial." Two famous billionaires, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, are prime examples of implementing a strategy of abandoning some daily activities to focus on more beneficial ones, thus achieving their set goals. In Stoic philosophy, the art of renunciation is not just a choice, but also a necessary requirement to live a fulfilled and meaningful life. Stoics believe that by freeing oneself from unnecessary desires and obsessions, we can achieve true freedom and inner peace. They emphasize focusing on what we can control and renouncing everything that does not belong to that realm. For instance, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He regarded acceptance and renunciation not only as parts of life, but also as paths to tranquility. By renouncing the desire to control things beyond our reach, the Stoics teach us how to face failure, disappointment, and any uncertainty without being swept away by negative emotions. They practice this by reflecting on what could happen, preparing mentally to accept any outcome, and thus reducing unnecessary suffering. The question I want to ask you is, in your life, what is the most difficult thing to give up? But do you know that doing so will bring long-term benefits to yourself? This is not only a question of choice, but also a profound exercise in awareness of the value of time and inner freedom that you can achieve. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Lesson number 8. Discovering self-worth independently. Each individual possesses their own set of values, that help them pursue their goals more easily. So what is self-worth? How do you differentiate yourself from countless others out there? How do you enhance your self-worth? Self-worth is not something that can be valued in terms of money, social status, or professional achievements. Instead, it is intrinsic qualities and principles that we live and act by. Stoicism teaches us that self-respect and personal value arise from fulfilling oneself, independent of acceptance or evaluation from others. Consider a typical office worker named Ruth, who often feels inadequate when comparing herself to colleagues in higher positions. In the modern workplace, where competition and comparison are rampant, it's easy to get caught in the whirlwind of comparison. However, through the lens of Stoic philosophy, a person's true worth isn't in the titles or positions they hold. Instead, it lies in the ability to maintain honesty, patience, and relentless diligence every day. As Ruth begins to recognize and appreciate these qualities in herself, feelings of insecurity and lack of confidence gradually fade. She learns to value herself based on the meaningful contributions she brings to work and to those around her, rather than external criteria set by society. Self-awareness of personal worth extends beyond work into relationships and other activities in life. When you start evaluating yourself based on your own intrinsic standards rather than external judgments, you begin to experience true freedom. Lesson number 9. Live authentically, according to Stoic principles. Living authentically with oneself, according to Stoic principles, is not just a choice, but a necessary requirement for achieving inner peace and true happiness. Stoic philosophers, such as Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught that we should live a life in accordance with our nature and rationality, without being distracted by illusions or unnecessary concerns about how others perceive us. Managing expectations in personal and interpersonal relationships to avoid disappointment is an essential part of living authentically. When we adjust our expectations to align with reality and improve relationships, we not only avoid disappointment, but also create space to live more genuinely. For example, a manager expecting their employees to perform tasks perfectly and quickly can lead to disappointment when those expectations are not met. Instead, recognizing the limitations and actual capabilities of employees will help this manager set more appropriate goals and expectations, thereby fostering a more effective and harmonious work environment. One specific evidence of the benefits of living authentically according to Stoic principles is how Epictetus advises Stoic followers to love their fate. He suggests that accepting the current circumstances and not resenting fate will help individuals achieve spiritual freedom and minimize suffering. This does not mean that we do not strive to improve circumstances, but rather accept them as part of the living and learning process. Now, ask yourself, am I living authentically with my own values and principles, or am I trying to live up to others' expectations? This question not only helps us reflect on how we are living, but also opens the path for us to move closer to the life we truly desire. Lesson number 10. Managing expectations and relationships. In life, one of the most important lessons that Stoic philosophy teaches us is how to manage expectations and relationships. This not only helps us avoid unnecessary disappointment, but also strengthens our connections with those around us. So, how can we apply this principle to our daily lives? In relationships, adjusting expectations is equally important. We often unintentionally burden others by expecting them to understand and meet all our needs without realizing that this is unrealistic. By learning to accept that everyone has limitations and may not always meet our expectations, we can reduce tension and build stronger relationships. When managing our own expectations, we find empowerment. This reminds us that ultimately it is how we react to what happens around us that truly determines the quality of our lives. Managing expectations and relationships in the Stoic way is not just an option, but a necessary requirement for living a content and less painful life. By applying these principles, we not only improve our relationships with others, but also with ourselves. To do this, we need to develop an awareness of our own emotions and those of others. Emotional awareness helps us understand the reasons behind our reactions and those of others, thus allowing us to adjust expectations appropriately. When we comprehend that each of us is fighting our own battles, it becomes easier to be compassionate and patient with others. Finally, practicing acceptance involves not just expectations of others, but also those we have of ourselves. By learning to accept our limitations, we feel less pressure to be perfect. This not only reduces stress, but also creates a space where we can grow and progress calmly and steadily. We've just delved into 10 timeless life lessons derived from Stoic philosophy, emphasizing that these are not mere options, but essential imperatives in our lives. These lessons equip us with the resilience and wisdom necessary to tackle life's challenges more effectively and with greater composure. By embracing these lessons, you can discover the inner strength needed to navigate adversity, enhance your personal growth, and lead a more fulfilling life. Hopefully, these insights will inspire you to embrace each day with a renewed perspective and a stronger, more joyful appreciation of life. We would love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Please leave your comments below with numbers: 1 for normal, 2 for good, and 3 if you find this video excellent. Don't forget to like, share this video with friends and family, and subscribe to our channel to not miss the latest videos. Your support is a great motivation for us to continue delivering valuable and profound content. Keep following and watching the next videos displayed right after this one. Thank you for spending time with us today. Live a meaningful life. Live like a true philosopher of the ages. See you again in the next content.